This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Gaz, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox Newscast. Hi, this is Colteastwood, and this is X&C Podcast, episode 92. I'm not looking at Gaz. Welcome to the show. Everybody, thank you for being patient as we got everything up and ready. We've got an excellent show. There is crazy, amazing news, and let's start with our special guest, one of my best friends, Fonz Gaming. Jay Fonzarelli, how are you, bro?
I'm good. It's great to be here. No, Gaz, it's more like this. Yeah, glad to be here. Seriously, it's going to be a fun time today. Gaz, your last show, man. I had to be here for it. I told Colt 2 weeks ago, I said, man, I want to be there on Gaz's last show.
Did you? Oh,
yes.
That's sweet, man. It means a lot. And then to have you here is just going to make it more relaxing and just chill. Just three buddies chilling.
Oh, you think I'm just too relaxing, huh? Oh, no, not today, sir. Not today. By the way, chat, give everybody a happy birthday to Gaz before he leaves. It's his birthday today, so let him know.
This is it, ladies and gentlemen. It's over. The dream is dead. I'm going to love you all. Now let's play more tunes first.
Oh my gosh, we're already off the rails.
We got Final Countdown playing. I've got a Tron poster in the background. It's the 80s podcast today.
It is the 80s. Wow. Fonz, do you remember? Gaz!
Sorry.
Now, demonetized.
Gaz, Fonz, do you remember where you were when the Final Countdown was hitting the radio?
Yeah, I was at the Kmart. I was standing in line with my parents, and the song came over the radio, the system in there in Kmart, the radio system, and I was just blown away by it.
Did it say Blue Light Special? Here's Europe with Final Countdown?
How would I know where I was the first time I heard that song? Come on. I remember the videos. Yeah.
That was the anthem for the Pakistan Cricket World Cup when we won in 1992 or whatever. It was blaring 24/7. Yeah, Pakistan won the Cricket World Cup. Is probably the proudest.
Oh, cricket! Wow.
Cricket, yeah, a real sport.
Yeah, the machine that you used to cut out little vinyl cutouts to make little.
Oh, I thought he was talking about this, the little bugs you feed, lizards and stuff.
Welcome to the North American podcast where we'll just make fun of Gaz. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
and soccer too, right?
Yeah. We.
This is going to be a messy podcast. Everyone's going to complain. This is the worst.
Yeah, worst podcast ever.
Yeah. I don't even know where to start, guys. Like, today has been ridiculous. The news is crazy. We're going to talk about some cool stuff that's been coming up and that's going to be happening probably tomorrow and the days to come. And we're also going to talk about the ridiculous premise that the journalists have right now. I feel like the journalists, the media, regulators, and fanboys all want Xbox to just shut down and be done so they could never talk about it again. We're going to get into that. First, I got to give a big shout out. And, if you're here, I don't know how many people are watching as we get started, but, we've got about 300 people here watching.
500. You have to refresh YouTube now. It's messed up.
Oh, yeah, you know how YouTube is. YouTube's like, hey, you trying to make some content? Nah, we don't care. Yeah, shout out to 600 people
watching
that are watching. But I got to give a shout out to the channel members and the veterans of the show. We've got Mark Carwell, KY Bob Assassin, Lupa Jaddy, Nagam Sox, Reki Falon, Manic Master, Jason Lewan, Mo B, Matt Burns, William Lanza, Udana Gazada, Nanopol, Suzai King, Robert Jackson, Lord Star Killer, Dante Moody, Betamax, Dark CMF Gaz, Fox Storyteller, Wreak Havoc, Fart Lines, Center White, Devario 2 Remix, Steve Simcoe, Assassin Dub, Larry Thatcher, Harheat, TK Chillin, Raiden Blade, Acute Perspective, True 77, Risking for the Biscuit, Micah Ford, Red Source, Dave UK, Quinn's Harmony, Attitude, Basky Krogan, Panda Bamboo, Trails Roberts, Scrubners, Neil B, Boba Fett Gaming, Macbound, and Meat Puppet 007. Thank you so much for letting me read your name on the air, and you're also on the ticker tape. Fonz, let's talk about.
You should have had some music accompanying that, reading out those names, like a sick beat,
Yeah, just, something like.
Yeah, I got beat. Oh, this is the tune. Shout out to Ricky Fallon and Licky Chalan. Shout out to Debari Blue. Oh wait, I can see it. Suicide King, Robert Jackson, Lord Storm, Skeleton, Dante Mooney, Betamax, Dog, Sam,
all right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So special shout out from Gaz. What's with the tomatoes? Farewell, Gaz. Tomatoes in the chat from Punty 050.
He's throwing tomatoes at us.
Fonz, let's start with a little bit of good news. We got I don't know if you care.
There's good news. Wow.
Yeah, there's some good news. Let's talk about this Forza Horizon Rally Adventure. What were you expecting? Are you okay with this? You're going to be driving your rally car in the dirt.
Did you really just come to me first about a racing game, sir? I don't really do racing games anymore. I hardly ever touch.
Like I said, Gaz, what do you think about the Rally Adventure game?
What do you think, Gaz? What do you think?
I think it's a rally adventure game. I think it's good. I wonder what David Springate thinks of that. That's the first thing I thought about. It's a random thought because he likes Forza games, but this is kind of like a competitor. There's a little bit of rivalry and so, the Dirt series. I think it's a good. Before the announcement, what was Rand saying? Like this weird gimmicky idea of like super franchise mashup, and ended up being a little bit more serious, like Dirt stuff. And the trailer looked really good. I'm kind of glad they did that because I felt like this is what I was complaining about before. So it's getting a little bit gimmicky with the Legos, with all that shiz. But it looks good. I don't know what to say. Like, it's really just going to be an extension of that. It's going to depend on the track design as well. A lot of that. It's all going to be dirt. You know what Dirt Rally is like. Just going
this looks better than Dirt 5, but I was a little bummed when they said like 21 new races. I'm like, I could finish that in like an hour, but I'm sure it's much bigger than that. But I'm
not worried about the length of the content. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, no, it looks good. I just have to try it. It's one of those you have to try. But it's not like mind blown thing. It just looks nice. There's been a tepid reception to that as well because it's like, all right, it's more racing. It's dirt. It's fine. It's because dirt games are relegated to more hardcore gamers like that because dirt rally racing is quite hard. So how they gonna manage that in an arcade race? I'm sure they'll do fine. Dirt 5 did it well. So let's just see. It's just one of those where you have to play and find out how good it is.
Okay.
I love how the chat is just saying, Fonz looks too serious today. Like, I'm sad. Gaz is leaving XNC, man.
Oh, man.
It's an amazing part of this show.
Yeah, this is a sad moment for me as well, man. It's like, how long has it been, Colt? How many months have I done it?
Too long. Colt's like,
it's been about 8 months. Yeah. Who's counting, right?
8 months,
as I hit the button to go live and go, what's Gaz gonna say this time? You're also seeing X and C at 1440p if you want. I think it should be able to. I didn't. Yeah, it is. It's something I learned from Fonz, but really? It just kind of help make things look a little nicer. But hopefully everything runs smoothly. It looks like it is. So I don't know. We're just around here. We're just trying to give you guys the best of the best. Let's talk about Atomic Heart. Apparently, I'm almost done with the game, and I don't think either of you have even played it.
I'm playing it. I'm playing it right now. I got into it a little bit again yesterday. I had some time, and I put about another hour or so into it. Still not 100% feeling this game, and I don't know if it'll get better for me, but I'm trying. I'm trying to get through it because.
What is it, Fonz? What is it that you're like? I'm not feeling it because I'm
I really don't
Falling
like
right
the
along.
button mapping at all, and I think the whole right button mashing for everything that you interact with is kind of weird. It just doesn't feel right. I'm used to it now. It's just that that, and also it's a little sloppy, dare I say? The controls. It doesn't feel as smooth as other first person shooters for sure.
It's a little chunky and sluggish. I feel like I'm going to break my right bumper on the controller as I hold it to force open things to loot them.
But I like it. I think it looks really nice. That's one thing it really has going for it, is the fact that the graphics are really nice. I wish it had HDR at the very least, though, and it doesn't. And it's really missing. You can tell, like, there's just kind of like this dull palette over the outside scenes and stuff that you really get a more immersive look to with HDR, especially if you have a good TV with good HDR. That really pops in a lot of games. But this one, when you're outdoors and stuff, you're looking at the sky, it's just kind of bland.
It's very pasty outside and very inky inside. Like there's no middle ground.
Very dark.
Have you seen the brightness settings, Fonz? It goes from 0 to 1. Basically 0 to 2. It goes like in 4 steps. The brightness is either completely black or completely still black in the darkness.
Yeah, but no, outdoors, I think it could look better it would have benefited from HDR for sure. Don't know why they chose not to run with HDR. It's kind of...
We're getting that once in a while, huh? What do you think of the game, Gaz, that you played? I know you're in the middle of a massive review that you can't talk about yet, but...
Massive.
What do you think of Atomic Heart with a little bit there?
Well, whatever little I played when you were in party chat is the same as last week, because I've been devoting my time to Wolong. But it started off so well that I really want it to be good, and I feel like the starting set piece, because the initial set piece is so important in the game. Like, it's so important in grabbing you. And my attitude to this was, XNC, I need to play this game. It's just come out before I get on the show. So otherwise it's a bit out of touch, topics wise. And when I played it, and I was just like, I was just stuck taking pictures, but bloody DVR wasn't working, but just having fun with it. And I got sucked into the environment. First impression was, because a lot of people were crying, downgrade visually. Jeez. I was just like, this looks beautiful. Like, even without HDR, I do agree with you, Fonz. It does. Even the outside looks just really washed out, kind of blown out kind of thing. But it still looks beautiful. Like the scale of the buildings, and even the art style, the geometry and the architecture looked really good. And it just started off really well. Seemed like a lot more polished at the start than I even was imagining, because I was expecting a bug fest. But I never actually got into the combat. I will play that game after Wolong. Wolong is a big game, by the way. But yeah, it's just...
it's funny you said that, Gaz, about the fact that you didn't get into the combat yet. The intro to this game is far too long. It just does not make sense. It's just too much. And I know a lot of games, people
it's a
will
cool experience that you have to sit through.
Oh, well, it's to set everything up and everything.
Yeah.
Bull crap. There's situations they put you in that they force you to ride in this, ride in that, and it's like, I don't want to do this. Like, I want to get to some action here. Like, it was a little long. That intro is a bit long.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was going on for a while, and before I even picked up a gun. But I made it longer by restarting checkpoint and just taking pictures, and the DVR wasn't working. But you're right, Fonz. The latest generation of gamers as well, they have such short attention spans. Yeah, it's a bit of a risk having these long-winded set pieces to settle you into the world. And normally the trick is, and it's very tricky, I'm not professing to be a game designer here, but the trick is to make sure that the player feels in control, is playing something that they instead of not feeling like, when is this going to end? Like, when is it going to end?
Look, I have to admit something too. Firestar66 in the chat said this. He says that he was looking for a skip button during that time. I did too. And I never usually do that with games. I sit there and I try to soak it all in, try to get into the game. But the stuff they were showing me and the stuff they were taking me through, I just didn't want any more. I was like, please let me out of this car. I'll jump right out of this car right now, fall to my death in this game just to get out of this cutscene. Like, I was done with it.
I like it okay, but sometimes I feel like, a lot of the times I feel like Atomic Heart is a chore. And I feel like I'm being forced to do all this stuff or slog through the game sometimes. And it tells a really compelling story, but it's got these puzzles where you come up to a door that's locked and you're like, oh, I do not want to do these. And a game like Fallout 3 or Fallout 4, when you'd come up to a lockpick or to hack a computer, I was always like, all right, let's do it. I know how to do this. I like this. But I would be flipping 3 color dots in a circle wheel ad nauseum, and I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Like,
it brings you back to like playing Simon in the 80s. You know, you're hitting the color buttons as they
boop, 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 boop.
That's basically it. And
I mean,
but here's one thing I saw. Boy, if this game doesn't give you, reason to not like ray tracing, because this game has no ray tracing, right? But it looks really good, the reflections and everything. And this is what we talk about all the time is you don't need ray tracing in every game. And ray tracing is such a resource hog. When you have a game that looks this good with good cube maps or SSR.
They're cube maps,
it can work. They're cube maps really well.
Now, we're talking about Atomic Heart still here for just a minute, chat. But in the opening scene, there's a lot of reflective material in the water and shiny objects that look really cool. And I think I was talking to Gaz, and he goes, "Is this ray tracing?" I go, or it might have been Fonz. It was one of you guys, but I said,
it was me.
Look down.
On the canal bit, yeah,
you're in the canal, and I said, look down. And if the building is off your screen and still in the water, it's either ray tracing or they're using a cube map where they unfold the image and put it on the water. And he said, yeah, it looks really good. And I said, why would you ever want 30 FPS ray tracing when cube maps or screen space reflections look this good? Because we don't really see transformative. Oh my gosh, that is a precursor, a foreshadow for some of the stuff we're going to talk about today. Before I get in, what's that?
Sorry, I don't want to derail anything, but this is going on about the ray tracing and stuff. How many times have you played a game with ray tracing and it has good reflections and stuff, Spider-Man being one of them? Do you really walk by the window over and over going, look, I can see myself? No, I don't. I just play the game. It doesn't matter to me. That stuff really doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't, especially when I played Spider-Man on PS5, I chose for higher resolution at performance because I knew I wouldn't care about when I played Spider-Man at launch, guys, you run up the building and you get this fake reflection of something that's not really behind you, but you don't care because you're running up and you're shooting up that building in a few seconds and you're just enjoying the whole game. And we're going to talk about
shadows maybe downplayed a bit. I think they look really good. In Cyberpunk, they did look good. Reflections.
I'm going to squeeze your neck right now for saying that. I hate ray trace shadows. Every time you see ray tracing's in this game and then they tell you it's shadows, I'm like,
there can be a richness that comes with, realistic shadows under objects so they don't look like they're placed or floating there. Matter. But you and
Cyberpunk
we've never seen it.
To me, man.
I've never looked at it and go, wow, that looks amazing. I'm so glad they did ray trace shadows.
I'm so glad I'm in 30 frames. And I'm like this.
So glad I'm in 30 frames. So glad I chose ray tracing over performance.
We are going to talk about performance. That's a big thing we want to cover, that everyone is really chopping at the bit to find out what's going on. But let me read a couple supers here that are coming in because of Gaz's departure. So I should say, since I've said it before, or I've written it or tweeted it or whatever, this is Gaz's last time on the show. He's been here for about 8 months, some 40 episodes, and he's moving forward in his career where he doesn't want to stay up till 3 a.m. on a Monday night and then drag into an office and go,
It'll be me tomorrow.
And so
sauce. The reason why he's leaving the show, he doesn't like cold. Don't tell anyone.
Don't say that. I love the show. I'm gonna miss it so much. No. Yeah.
So and people are like, is he gonna die? Is he still gonna do the sauce? He's still gonna Game On Daily, the sauce, all that still continues.
Wait, but that was dark.
Yeah, I know. Is he gonna die?
Is he gonna die? Whoa!
Well, one of my friends is like, "Are you gonna do Gaz's funeral today?" And I go, "Yeah, I think so. It'll be great. But it's his birthday and his death day.
Wow.
Don't come at me about dark. It'll be dark in a minute. Let me. Aluminium 54 with the $2 super chat. Thank you, Aluminium. He says, "Happy birthday, Gaz. Have my babies."
I will
gladly
have your babies.
Amazing.
So you guys know, Gaz gestates for like 27 months. He's a real bear. You know, I'm always going to the store and getting him burritos and ice cream. Sith Lord with the $2 says, what?
Nothing.
Sith Lord with the $2 super chat says, "Hello, the last time, Gaz. Hello, Fonz and Colt. You were great." Sith Lord, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us. You're a good guy, yes. I'm gonna crumb with the Australian $8 says, "Pouring out for Gaz's last show."
I'm gonna
Oh. No.
Fonz's camera's gone off.
No.
the way he
Doesn't that
said
mess things up too?
Now you're Fonz.
Yeah. No, you just got
That's weird. Oh, and it's back.
Oh, there
Look
you
at
go.
that. Look at Fonz. He's so amazing. He's like, Eagle pulls down alert and back.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, read that super chat again.
Let me read that name again. I'm gonna crumb. An Australian $8 says, "Pouring out for Gaz's last show, boys. Happy birthday, mate. You'll be surely missed, and you'll still be on Game On."
What does he say?
He's gonna. Never mind.
Just stop.
Gaz. Kingfish, thank you so much for the $2. Says, "Gaz, make sure to leave the sauce. Happy birthday, Gaz." Man, I remember you used to get so mad. That was like a big thing.
CMF killed that. It just made my life hell.
Web Dave, Outbreak Games, says, "Fonz is the man. Gaz we miss. And Colt." And these got eyes. Thank you, Web Dave. Percolator 9000 says, "Hello, everyone." Yes, shout out to Web Dave. "Hello, everyone. Happy birthday, Gaz. You will be missed. Keep up the good work, Colt." Hello, Fonz.
Hello. Hi. How you doing?
Lucius Mesh, thank you so much for the 5. Says, "Gaz, going to miss you, man. How many AAAs would 70 billion buy? Here's a hint. 140 on the low end. 140 AAA games? Oh, if they didn't buy Activision.
On the low end.
140 games?
But
Maybe.
Are they all AAA? Are they?
No, he's saying like if they spent that $70 billion on AAA games. We'll get into that. JC, thank you for the 5. Says, "Going to miss the energy on here, Gaz. This show has genuinely helped me fall back in love with gaming." Speak on that, Gaz.
That's huge.
That's wicked. I'm glad. my crack addicted antics helped you appreciate gaming more. But yeah, no, honestly, thank you. That's nice. I thought everyone hated me. But fine.
Everyone, just 2 people. You know, I've actually watched and paid attention as you've been on the show that you've like played more and more games. Like you kind of branched out, and then you've got me to play a few games that I normally wouldn't play. So we have a good influence on each other. And then
what was cool is you got him out of playing Roblox all the time, and now he's actually branching out and playing some good games.
I stopped multiplayer. I still watch Twitter. I watch other people play COD and like Apex, and I'm like, I know, stop. But you know what? It's one of the best things I've done.
You know what? That's what happens when you play multiplayer games, right? You end up like missing out on a lot of single player experiences. I remember when I was into Destiny, so hardcore.
Who's she?
I didn't play anything but Destiny on 2 different consoles. At the time, there was no, sharing progress on 2 consoles. I was playing 2 different accounts.
How long were you going out with Destiny?
Me and Destiny, we were together for a good, I don't know, solid 6-7 years. Like, it was bad.
Wow.
It's pretty, it was a bad breakup.
Yeah, I'll bet it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told her to take off the, the band shirt, my favorite band shirt, because she was going to make them break up.
You could break up the band.
So that was it, yeah.
Danny Passion Official, thank you so much for 2. Says, "Enjoying Returnal on PC. Gaz, see you on Go Live." Yes, you will see Gaz on Go Live every Saturday.
Absolutely.
Scooter with the 5 says, "Gaz, you'll be missed. You're really grown on me like herpes." But I'm sure you'll pop up again from time to time also like herpes. Good luck, sir.
You never get rid of that, sir. Gaz, you can never get rid of him. You'll
never get rid of that.
I guess.
So in In 2 months from now, I'll hit episode 100. Maybe Gaz will be available, but you never know. You never know. Yodani Kuzada says, in the case of Gaz, Colt, you are not the father. Thank you for that, Yodani. Take me back to my Maury Povich days. One more, and then we'll move on. Swin Differs with the 5 says, Colt, I already talked to the mag about keeping his camera off when he comes to the show so he doesn't run your subscribers off. Gaz, enough respect. You.
Enough respect. Wagwan, brethren. Yeah? You're going to miss me. I know you will, Splendiferous. No back chat. See you at Go Live.
Let's talk about one more big AAA multi-plat game that will be on Xbox that didn't get money handed from PlayStation. Fonz, I want you to lead this one. Let's talk about the long-awaited sequel, Crackdown 4 by Rocksteady.
Oh God.
Crackdown 4. Yeah, no, Suicide Squad. Yeah, we saw that at the State of Play. And,
pause. I usually don't say this because I don't like to bug you guys, but hit the like button if you're here and having a good enough time. You think you're going to have a great time, but hit the like button. It really helps the show, and it makes Gaz feel better about himself. But it's easy, you can move the chat out of the way, hit the thumbs up or hit the thumbs down because I'm not a good-looking person, and we'll have a great show. And we're here with Fonz, who's about to talk to us about Suicide Squad, but also you can check out the show on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts.
So, of course, Suicide Squad, Rocksteady, one of the most beloved developers out there that brought us some great Arkham games from, the Batman series and just some incredible stuff. And they bring us a looter shooter complete with the Battle Pass. Just what everybody wanted. Yeah, it doesn't look great to me, guys. And I said this on my show, too. The jury is still out for me. I'm not going to say the game is not going to be good because the gameplay loop can be very fun. Who knows?
Yeah, sure.
But this is a looter shooter. Okay. What do they really want to do with a looter shooter? It's got to have that replayability. They have to come back to the game over and over again. And can you see this game from what little bit we've seen so far being replayable over and over again? I don't know. I don't think so. I think this may be a big swing and a miss by Rocksteady. But who am I?
So weird because you and I really were making fun of Gotham Knights for like a year and a half, and then we end up really, really liking the game.
But here's the thing. This is the difference between Gotham Knights and this game. That wasn't a looter shooter. And with Gotham Knights, it looked like it played more like the Arkham series than this game does.
Didn't it have all the gear? Didn't it sort of have those gear, same...
You kind of had some of that stuff, but... it still played more like an Arkham game than Suicide Squad does.
You said it so great. You said that yesterday on your show that Gotham Knights plays more like an Arkham game than Suicide Squad.
And it's crazy because you got characters that are just shooting guns in Suicide Squad that don't normally shoot guns in the comics anyway. And I'm just like, what is going on here? Like Mr. Sharkhead guy. I don't see him using guns in the games or in the comics. But anyways, it does not look like this is going to be a real winner for Rocksteady, unfortunately. I don't want to see them fail here, but if you look at the comment section and all the trailers and stuff, gamers are not happy about this being a looter shooter at all.
Kind of want to see those thumbs down, Fonz. What about you, Gaz? You've got a strong opinion about comic book IP, franchise working games. What do you think of what can you add to this conversation?
See, the problem with Rocksteady has had a very good track record. So a lot of people have been very hyped about it. So one part of me is saying they deserve the benefit of the doubt because they haven't missed a shot. Really, they did such a good job with the Arkham games. Then the other part of me is like you can't ignore the similarities between this and Avengers, like that model. And I think that model's really going to hurt itself. I think I also agree with you, Fonz, about the longevity of this loop and whether that's sustainable. Because I would have much rather preferred a traditional game, like a start-finish story where you play with your friends. And then this kind of game with the battle pass, and then they showed all that. It's just like, I'm kind of sick of it. I'm sick of that. And I have a bad feeling that this might not review that well. This might be Rocksteady's big, like, it's going to be pretty bad for them. I know, everyone's really, like, before, we're really excited. We saw the bits of the gameplay.
I'll do
and
a poll while you're talking.
Yeah, and I'll be interested to see what the poll says. But yeah, you know, it's like I don't know, like with Avengers, we knew, like, chances are the publisher forced Square Enix forced the developers to shoe in this model. With Rocksteady, I'm just thinking, was that a developer decision, or did Warner Brothers like say, hey, we want to, because they would have been in development around about the same time. I would imagine Avengers, well, they'd started developing and they're like, hey, Avengers are doing this. We should, I don't know. I hope Rocksteady didn't make that decision, because I have a feeling, I'm quite confident that decision to make it game as a service, whatever, with Battle Pass is going to be the reason that this game gets dragged in reviews. So, but maybe, it does look fun. It does look fast paced. It does remind you of Crackdown, Saints Row, and Gotham Knights sometimes. And you're like, but I don't know. I mean, graphically, it looks okay. It looks good. More so at night, but I don't know, man. I just don't want to be negative about the game, but generally, we've seen quite a bit of it, and feels like we're straining to find good reasons for it. Well, the good thing I will say though, I really liked was when it did play the story with Flash there, and when the lasso of truth was like wrapped around him, and then you start being more serious. Mm-hmm. I preferred. Will you enjoy Suicide Squad? No, what kind of poll is that? You're a bit like, they're not clairvoyant. Let me look at the future.
You said yes, no. Maybe you should have added like I'm gonna try it.
No, the question should have been: are you more confident? Are you confident Suicide Squad will be good?
Well, I have a feeling most people would say they don't think it's going to be good, but I just wonder if there's some of you that are like, well, I didn't think Gotham Knights would be good and I enjoyed it, but I think one of the big, let me say something because the chat keeps writing something over and over. I think the biggest travesty of this is that we waited 8 years for Rocksteady to return with the juggernaut that they did with Batman Arkham and see what they would do next. And they did something that failed 2 years ago with Avengers. So, of course, we're all. Let me see this. Nick Rooney in the chat keeps asking about Hellblade 2 and Gears 6. Now, we heard recently that the Coalition was working on the side on a new IP, and things weren't working out as far as we know, and they sidelined that for now. But they are fully into Gears 6. So we're also supposed to get a bunch of information for E3 this year, because we already know everything that is on its way, and they haven't talked about anything new in 2 years. So maybe they're going to start talking about Gears 6 soon. But Hellblade 2, as we said on this show last week or the week before, Hellblade 2 is really sounding like it's very, very possible that it is going to make a holiday release date, barring what happens with ABK. My fear is that if ABK closes, as we'll talk about later in the show, that they'll ask Ninja Theory to just wait till early 2024, which I think is a stupid move, but I wouldn't put it over on Xbox. But right, Fonz, like Hellblade needs to drop, and it's such a different game that you can put out this new Call of Duty and this Forza game and Hellblade 2. So I would have good confidence that Hellblade 2 is coming at the end of this year, and we've yet to see like that actual real gameplay segment, and I think that's coming really soon.
Until they show it, I don't think it's going to be coming the end of this year. But again, I feel like this game is generating some hype because let's be honest, a lot of people didn't care for the first game much. It's got its core fan base out there that did play it and did really like it. But there's a lot of us out there who felt that it was kind of not very good. Okay, the combat and all that, the puzzles and stuff. A lot of people complained about that, but they are, anyway, on paper, they said that they're really looking at all the stuff that people complained about, combat being one of them, and really focusing on that. So No, I don't think, Gaz, that he's just playing up in where, Iceland or whatever in a hot tub with some, people. I think they're actually making this game and doing some great things. It's funny that you always mention that, though, because that guy does seem to have a good time, right? He's always partying.
Yeah, fair enough.
But no, I think that they are working on some of the stuff that a lot of people complained about, and it's generated a lot of hype. I'm looking forward to seeing what this next Hellblade's going to be like, but they haven't showed enough of this just yet for me to believe that it's going to drop this year. And that could change at E3. It could totally change.
Yeah, I mean, Xbox has told me that they like to show gameplay, and then within the calendar year, the game releases. We've already seen the gameplay. We've already heard too much about the development, Nick Rooney in the chat, about how far along they are, what they've done with mocap, some of the training the team has gone through, and all this work. And it's like, but where's the game? So the only thing that's left is it coming out, So it should be something I would think in holiday. But I said the same thing last year. So if it didn't come out last year, why in the heck wouldn't it be out this year? That just puzzles me. But I don't want to talk about Suicide Squad anymore. But let's close up Suicide Squad
real quick. Can I say this about Suicide Squad? Look,
yeah.
I think bottom line is this: most of us out there just don't like change. Especially with some developers, you're used to them making a certain type of game, and you're looking forward to that same type of game. You want to but you want some new elements, some new mechanics maybe put into those types of games that you've known these developers to make. So that's what we were excited for. Another Arkham. That's what we were really excited for. We're not getting that, and I think
we're not getting that
ever.
Issue.
I think, and that's the main issue people have a problem with. It's change. That doesn't mean it can't be a great game. It could be a phenomenal game. We just have to wait and see.
Have you seen Hoggy's super chat? He says that he's played an early build of the game. He can't talk about it, but not planning on buying it. Take what you want from that. That's a bit sketchy.
I've heard from people that have played the game early builds and don't like it. I've heard that.
Yeah, Hargy is, he had the opportunity to play that through playtesting, so he can't talk about it. But let me just pretend like I know what Hargeet's saying, and if I was Hargeet, I wouldn't be super happy. But when I saw the gameplay, it looked fun. It looked like Crackdown on crack. But the one thing I got to ask, and we got a couple supers here that are actually asking about the game, so we'll be almost done with that topic. But I got to ask Gaz. Gaz, what's the fate for this game? Because, what do you think the pre-orders and the reception are going to be from the fans and the sales? What are you expecting? Use your expertise.
I have a feeling this is going to be a repeat of the Avengers, and I think it's going to be even more bitter than the Avengers because people were looking fondly at Rocksteady and their next project, and people held them in high esteem. So it's like that falling from grace that almost reminds me of CD Projekt Red and the way they faltered with Cyberpunk. It's like another beloved studio. This is still set in the Arkham universe. That's about 5 years, 15 years, or 5 years from the last Arkham game. So it's like that just soils it, especially for DC fans, because they always feel like they don't catch a break.
They get the short end of the stick while the Marvel gets the best stuff.
I mean, the Marvel got murked as well, but then they had Guardians of the Galaxy, which
but didn't Avengers sell like gangbusters, Gaz?
No,
it made a lot of money.
Not as much as it should have. No.
Or was it another Square Enix we're so disappointed in our studio?
Hey, let's not act like Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was a different situation in that they got a lot of heat for the game being broken at launch. The game itself was great. Great game. Don't have an issue with the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
tell you, 70s Metacritic, 70s. I'm anticipating late 70s. 70s,
high 70s, I think.
High 70s.
I just don't think it's going to be a big money maker. I think I thought Avengers made a bunch of money at first, but with the money they pumped into the Avengers, they probably expected to make so much money, and the reception killed the money flow. Kelvin Warburton, I'm sorry I messed that up. Kelvin Warburton, with his first super chat ever on YouTube, with the Australian 2 says, "Good luck to you guys." I remember my first super chat. I'm like, How do I do this?
An Australian too is like an American $500.
Wow. with the exchange rate right at the moment.
Yeah.
That's very nice of you, man. Like, it's so weird. So
People
cool.
love you,
Thank
Gaz, except for those two guys.
Aw.
It's those two guys over there. They don't like you. Everyone loves you. Hey, but guess what? All the people that like you don't like me, and they love Fonz. Fonz is the best. Hey, shout out to 1,000 people who are watching the show. I mean, the count's not there, very reliable, but we got 1,100 people watching the show. We really appreciate it. Hit the like button. Thank you so much for being here. We've got to get into the news. I got a couple of questions here from Koopa Slayer with a $5. Says, I remember when it was rumored they are working on a Superman game, talking about Rocksteady. He said, which sounded cool when they showed Suicide Squad. I have no interest in it now. And then Dub with the $10 says, what's that? I hear you.
So the Superman game is, even despite the fact that the video did bad, which I keep talking about, I will be working on future games, like superhero comic book games, that they can make a Superman game. We have the tech to make it brilliant. We do have the tech.
They did with the Matrix demo. They turned it into a Superman type game.
Yeah.
And it was amazing looking. Yeah.
The only challenge is Superman is so OP.
Too OP. You gotta do something else. Yeah.
It's gonna be hard.
You guys wait for your Superman game. I'll wait for my Megamind game. Because I think that's the best superhero IP ever.
The hell is Megamind? Anyway,
gosh.
let's go.
Gosh, dang it! Will Ferrell as a blue-headed supervillain. It's a hilarious movie, bro. It's so good. It's so well done. Dub with the $10 super says, it's weird I'm put off by Suicide Squad by what it looks like, but Rocksteady themselves decided to make this. I'd rather them give it a try instead of doing something they didn't want to do creatively. Dub has a good point, but when we sit here and think, how could you not want to take the next DC IP and make something really cool? But we'll see, because Wonder Woman's being made by Monolith. Nanopolymyth is back with a 10-pound super. Says, just stopping by to say hi to Fonz. Shout out to him. Hello. Wish Gaz all the best in his new journey, and tell Colt how much I love his new foot sign. Foot, laugh out loud. Because you can't see the rest of the word. Yeah,
why'd you get rid of all the records? You looked like a record producer before.
Well, that's partially why, and I know people like them, but remember how you said we don't like change? As I get older, I push through the I don't want to change. I really do. And I had those up for 8 to 10 years, and I pulled them off of the wall, and the holes and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So yeah, it was something I spent the weekend trying to do. But I'm actually going to do some more stuff back there. But you guys didn't come here to talk about that. But it will be cool. It will be cool, I promise. A lot of stuff in the works. Malcolm LAX3 says, we expected Rocksteady to be Sucker Punch. Yeah, I mean, for a multi-plat studio, Sucker Punch does great stuff. Sir X-Men says, Gaz still here? Thought ponies kidnapped him.
Not till next week.
Next week they will.
Do you guys want to get messy for a little bit? I mean, this is a pretty tame show. Yes. We were talking Kumbaya Suicide Squad, but we can get a little bit. We can get a little bit messy. I want to talk about Foss Patents, an industry account on Twitter, and Chris String, Lulu from the...
Chris String. That sounds familiar. Who's Chris String again?
Christopher String, the guy who works for GameIndustry.biz and loves James.
Oh, the GameIndustry.biz guy that always flames the fanboy console wars. That guy?
Yeah. The guy that counts physical edition sales of PlayStation game that makes up 20% of a market that is 8% of the games industry worldwide and on console or something. I don't know, just like a fraction of a fraction. Hey, you can have a part of this cheesecake, but I'm going to cut a little slice over there, and you can take that little bit. I do too. Shout out to Cheesecake. Shout out to Cheesecake for being here. But Cheesecake for everybody in the chat.
He's another pony.
Just like that,
well, it looks like that sometimes. On Twitter, he's very messy. Very.
So he said it's perfect. People were calling out his articles and his friction for consolidation in the industry and the merger of Xbox buying big studios and this whole mess that Xbox is not. We cannot tolerate, he didn't say this, we cannot tolerate Xbox to have exclusives. That's not going to happen on my watch, is kind of the attitude you get in the industry. Christopher Dring was being called out for kind of console warring his reports on the PlayStation versus Xbox stuff and putting a heavy bias towards PlayStation needs to come out smelling like a rose in this, and Xbox needs to sit down and just be quiet. And he said it's perfectly normal for business media, meaning somebody like him at gamesindustry.biz, who I've had prior issues with. I would never insult another journalist, but come on, man. If you're giving me enough flack, eventually I'm going to push back. He says it's perfectly normal for business media to be wary of huge consolidation and impact on small businesses.
Oh, wag. Look, here's my little violin I'm playing. Yeah, it's like this consolidation word. Like, actually, like I've heard this stupid. Like, they just deploy this consolidation thing, like, without. When you ask them about the details of the state of Activision Blizzard, then it's just silence. Then it's just silence. COD for 10 years, silence. Like, in my opinion, Microsoft has offered way too much. Way too much. 10 years? They're being too charitable. Yeah, it doesn't fit their business model anyway. Incidentally, let them have COD because they need to justify the profit and loss and make their money back from this massive capital expenditure. But ultimately, this is a generous deal. In my opinion, Sony's not saying anything. It's not answering calls. It's not even sitting on the table. So if it refused to do that, and the regulators then get battered away and then say, fine, we relent, let the deal go through, I don't think Sony should even. Why should Sony get the benefit of the 10-year deal then? Because then they didn't sit there. They had no goodwill. They tried to scupper it, literally spreading lies and Brussels about the deal. But then all of a sudden, they're like, fine, just give us the 10 years. It's like win-win for them. And this is where I'm completely bemused that there are no punitive measures for you stalling out this deal. That uncertainty for Activision, all its staff. I mean, for us gamers, yeah, fine. We're sick and tired of hearing about this deal. But what about the people there? What about the people who are sick and tired of Bobby Kotick or just completely uncertain about their future in this company because Sony sat there and stick its oar in, or hiding behind the regulators, and then they get the benefit of the deal. So I'm like, and then Chris Drink cries about consolidation when Blizzard are completely murked, like their studios in turmoil, like they haven't had any quality assurances there because Activision screwed it so hard. All these dormant IPs, all dead. What it's like you said that so well on Go Live on Saturday, Colt. What is there apart from Diablo, COD, and what was the other one?
Overwatch. What else is there? Overwatch is already a multi-plat. What was the other one? Diablo is already a multi-plat, and Call of Duty will be a multi-plat. Yes,
there's been controversy to all of those games as well. It hasn't been smooth sailing for any of their IP, even those.
Diablo. And Diablo's, but when the developer comes out and says, by the way, we're cutting content and we don't know how we're going to do this, and we're crunching.
Exactly.
Great.
But here's the funny thing, that when I look at this whole thing, it's almost as if people believe that, Microsoft, for some reason, is the only potential buyer out there. And people
or the only one trying to buy anything.
But here's the thing. They were in turmoil. Activision, Blizzard, they had a lot of stuff going on. These companies would have been bought out by somebody else eventually, if not Microsoft. But why is it always Microsoft is the worst? We can't let Microsoft get any of this. We see it coming from Sony. We understand why that narrative comes from Sony, and that's because they're a direct competitor, right?
Right.
But everybody else, that's why you look at, GeForce and all this, Valve, they decided, hey, we'll take 10-year deals. That's fine, because they just want to ensure they're going to get these games. That's it. Like, it's a natural, reaction to something like this. You would think that Sony would do that too, but there's more at stake for Sony here.
Absolutely. Well, other companies are fine. Strauss-Zelnick, the guy who Take-Two, he's super. It's like, we're
I'm just saying, in the end,
he supports it.
What if what if this deal doesn't go through and then Tencent swoops them up?
Then what happens with the FTC when the American legislative will be legislatures or all the politicians will be like, wow, well done, we failed foreign policy, we allowed a Chinese company.
Do you think once this fails, do you think nobody else is going to try? Do you think they're just going to sit there and just not be bought by anybody, or maybe even sell off certain assets and divisions of the company?
That's why it will go through funds, because there's no way the US can afford a foreign entities, particularly China, politically in this geopolitical game, to allow that to happen. I don't think the FTC. Lena Khan has such a terrible record as well. She's there trying to build her.
I'm just saying the alternatives could be worse than Microsoft buying them. I think that's the best alternative. Yeah, that's the best case scenario. Exactly, buddy.
Capono in the chat said, Fonz, they are struggling with their own studios. So today I completely destroyed the narrative that Xbox has problems with their studios. Now, they definitely have a problem with 343. That's been well documented, but that's one studio out of 23 that they have problems with. Well, I mean, what's the last we heard from Undead Labs?
Okay, so here's the thing, though, Gaz. We've heard rumors about Undead Labs. We've heard rumors.
We heard
about
human resource rumors. They were having problems with how employees were treated.
We haven't seen what they're going to produce here, right? We'll wait till we see State of Decay 3.
So,
see how that.
Okay, I'll go with Gaz on Undead Labs, because out of all of the first-party studios that Xbox has put out games for since the new generation started, the 11 games they put out first-party in this past 2 years, if we go back 3 years or whatever, 4 to Undead Labs, State of Decay 2 was one of their lowest-rated games out of all their first-party studios. All of them. And then I showed today that infographic I made where Xbox sits at around 86% aggregate Metacritic or OpenCritic next to PlayStation's 85% first party. So this whole narrative that Xbox can't manage their studios is bullcrap, because people are conflating that with Xbox's problem with their third-party partners, where half of their third-party partners that they've made timed exclusives or full exclusives with studios they don't own and that they don't self-manage, those games have done poorly. But their first-party stuff has been great.
Let me ask you something, though, Colt. Have you did the count between how many exclusives both consoles have? PlayStation
has over double if you count things like Godfall and Babylon's Fall.
That's a big thing to put up,
Yeah, but I mean, you know what that says though, Fonz, is PlayStation has 6 more games than Xbox in first party, but that's because they have 6 remasters and remakes. 6 more than Xbox first party. But if you went to the third party deals, and this folds into the Activision thing, all right? If you go into the third party money-hatted games, PlayStation has well over double the games that Xbox has exclusively. And that is the reason why the media is like, Xbox can't money hat their way into this. They can't just buy their way into success. Like, do you think what do you think PlayStation's been doing?
Some of the biggest games this generation for PlayStation has been remasters.
Remasters, remakes. And PlayStation has the same problem Xbox does. If I put in all of their money-hatted third-party exclusives, I think their score might go down even further, because they've had some crappy games that came out that didn't do very well, and so is Xbox. So if I put those in, I think both
All-Stars.
Well, Destruction All-Stars is first party. Oh, they don't like that one.
Yeah.
Sony Interactive Entertainment.
It was first party.
It is. Right. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, but you put in Babylon's Fall and you go up and down, but I think it might lower the overall score on both of them. But this whole narrative that Xbox shouldn't be buying Activision and Blizzard because they can't manage their own in-house studios. Come on. Not huff and paint. Come on. What's going on? It's the perception, though, Gaz. It's that perception that just keeps going, where people think, you know what, this is how it is. This is how I've heard it, and I'm just going to roll with it. And then you start to crunch the numbers, and you look like a clown.
That number this generation could go down for PlayStation. This is why if everything on paper, because I mean, if Xbox hits those high notes, I mean, I think 2023.
I don't think so. because Sucker Punch, Insomniac, and Naughty Dog are all going to keep that number up there in the high 80s or mid 80s. But
Xbox has a very good chance of this is the best chance this Xbox has this generation. I know it keeps making really bad blunders and the power thing and all of that, but as far as the quality of the games are concerned, if we can get some clarity this E3 about, or some positive progress, signs of positive progress with Undead Labs, with Perfect Dark, with State of Decay and Fable, then I think, remember the hype we had, or Xbox fans, and God taught us a lesson, and you guys are getting too brave now. Bam! Bad news, bad news, bad news. No, but it's just that, if you remember the hype, and Xbox fans were so bold, and Xbox looked like it was murking PlayStation so badly. Had it continued that momentum, by the way, we wouldn't have seen. What we would have seen is sales very neck and neck. Because even in Japan, it was building steam. In America, it would have been a wash. Even with the PlayStation 5 consoles in the wild, it would have been cascading down to all people that Xbox is really killing it. Sub count for Xbox Game Pass would be much higher. And it just that died. But in order to bring that back, I really think at E3 they need to be super aggressive. Really,
yeah, they do.
Because I think this E3 they really
look at what 2022 did. Look what 2022 did, Fonz. You guys were just talking about all that momentum they had in 2020, 2021 Metacritic year, platform of the year. They broke a historic record, and then 2022 they laid there like a slug, and it showed in the numbers and the revenue and the profits and the growth. It went nowhere. Like my channel.
Yeah, that was the first time I pressed pause on Game Pass. I was like, there's nothing for me the rest of this year. I pressed pause. And then about a month later, shout out to Geet, our Geet. He was out there. He goes, no, I'm going to get you that Game Pass subscription back. You're going to get it.
He's like a drug dealer, Hoggy. It's like, this sample's free. And then he was just taking lines.
He's like, come on, Fonz, you need to play Wooga Wooga Lump Lump. And he's like, all right, it just came to Game Pass.
And while I dabbled with some games here and there in Game Pass throughout the year, it wasn't great, man. It really wasn't great.
How much do you want to bet that Brad Ward is going to quote me on Twitter in 2 hours and say Colteastwood played Wooga Wooga Lump Lump on Game Pass?
You know what? I should have said it's not great. It wasn't great for me, because a lot of people out there do argue with me and go, Game Pass was amazing in 2022. And
no, it wasn't. No,
okay, for you maybe, but for me, I'm more of a AAA game kind of guy.
For me, it was. I played MLB for 400 hours, so yeah, that's all I needed. But that was a weird year for everybody.
I think As Dusk Falls was the best game I played on Game Pass last year.
Oh yeah, you loved that. Yeah, you loved that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I played it twice. Really liked it.
Nariko94 says, Colt, when are you going to come over to the UK to hang out with Gaz? Also, I'm looking forward to Season 4 of Battlefield 2042. What's out later today?
These Americans don't travel outside their country. Have you even got a passport, Colt?
A what? What was that?
Why don't you guys travel? Oh, actually, America is so large. It's insane. London can fit in Texas, I think.
Now, I was trying to explain. My mom came to visit for the past couple of weeks, and I said, this is how far away she is, Gaz. And I did the distance. I go, it would be like you flying from London all the way to the bottom of France. That's how far away my mom lives in Arizona. And you're like, what? And I'm like, yep, yeah.
And for me to go to Switzerland, an hour. For me to go to France, an hour. I drove to Gamescom. It took me 5 hours. It's crazy.
Yeah, I hate you for that.
America's so massive.
But what I don't get is it takes you 2 hours to drive to work in town. So you're hitting some time dilation tangs right there.
That's
true.
So back to this ABK thing. Xbox is now, I guess supposedly they're offering a 10-year plan on all Activision, Blizzard, and King games, which would mean anything that they make. But Gaz, you kind of pointed out, what else are the studios going to make besides Call of Duty? We don't know about any new Crash Bandicoot. Blizzard is working on a survival open world game that would likely be, well, it would be multi-plat under this deal. And like you said, Gaz, they've offered way too much just to get this deal through. But at this point, the Activision Blizzard merger has become a license to print money for PlayStation or for Xbox. I'm sorry, for PlayStation. I was thinking ahead for a second because PlayStation just admitted that, where is the quote? Without hits like Call of Duty, Sony may not be able to serve up high-profile first-party games. Fonz,
That's right.
digest that. Do I need to read it again? I want you to speak on that.
Really?
That's what they said.
That sounds like. Again, I've said this so many times. They've relied too heavily on these multiplats for so many years. They've just been making their, single player action adventure, third person games, and then just relying on those, multiplats like COD to bring them through, to fill in the gaps. And now it's going to bite them in the butt big time. They don't get those. They're not going to get those marketing deals that really helps push their consoles even, because when they market these games, it'll say on PS5 only, or only on PS5. They do that sometimes. Even though it's on Xbox as well, they will have commercials that do that. And people will argue, well, because it's not on PlayStation 4, that's why they're doing it. No, that's not the only reason why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want you to buy a PS5, and it works. They've done that with Destiny for years as well. That's why they went ahead and bought Destiny. They've got that. They've got those guys.
But Fonz, I thought that they're bangers like Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us, Uncharted, God of War, Ratchet. I thought all those fund the machine that is PlayStation Studios with director's cuts and just a premier experience.
And that's why we pay a $10 tax for the next gen tax, right? For the PlayStation 5, because they needed even more money from you for those single player experiences, right? Because they need it. But for some reason, they say they need it, even though these games are making so much money for them. You look at God of War. God of War sold how many copies? The most recent
11.
one? 11 million copies. That's a lot of money at $70 a pop. And even if you look at the bundles that they threw the game in, that was still $60 worth of game there in the bundles.
Yeah.
So, it blows my mind to even think that losing something like just COD alone really would hurt the company that much. But man, it goes to show you just how much they relied on third party. And we've been saying this for a long time. They've been relying on this way too much. And they've got things that they could resurrect in their own catalog. You've got Resistance. You've got SOCOM. You've got games that they can bring back that can generate a lot of buzz. People have been asking about these games for years. Now, hopefully, because we all know this deal's pretty much going to go through. I mean, especially now with the angle that Mr. Brad Smith has got, is pushing for here, this anti-competitive crap that they're trying to push on them with the FTC. It's not going to work because, look, he showed that graph. It was perfect, too. In the European market, 80% is dominated by the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Only 20% by Xbox. That's a huge difference there. And for the FTC to even say that, this merger would be Xbox would be a monopoly in the gaming industry, in the gaming space, is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Because even with that, they're still not going to gain the upper hand in the European markets or the Japanese markets.
No, they just need to get some type of foothold.
But
at this
it's
point,
going to be competitive, and it'll push Sony to do something even more competitive.
Why?
And I'm not saying, but here's the thing:
it's so hard.
Why? That's the thing, right?
Why are they more? They're more worried about the competition.
I love their games. I love their games. Don't get me wrong, PlayStation dudes, you've got some phenomenal games over there, but they have one type of game they make over and over. I love them, but not everybody else does.
That's what somebody said when they saw my graphic. They said, Colt, you just highlighted that PlayStation basically has one type of game and Xbox has something for everybody. I mean, I want that thing on Xbox, but
yeah, I do too. But I'm just saying they do. I mean, we all know that here.
I'm just
so
sick of the regulators.
They've got platformers. They've got VR games.
Here, Gaz.
They
own Bungie. Okay, these guys make incredible first-person shooters. They feel phenomenal. They can create something with Bungie and make something potentially it could be even better than COD. Now you're never going to get that steam that COD has.
I mean,
COD has been there for many years, but they could make a
ages.
game that feels better than COD. They could.
Absolutely. Why not? They've got first-party teams. I've been saying there's so much. Like, it seems like Sony doesn't have faith in its own first parties to deliver again. Obviously, they've sat on their asses for ages working this stupid formula to death. And it's not a stupid formula, but now they're starting to realize it's better late
it's
than
not stupid.
never.
It sells, right?
It's
It
good
sells,
formula.
Yeah, it
So
does
it's
sell,
good
and it's
for 'em.
good.
So they kept with it, and they need to get outside of their comfort zone. They need to get into that multiplayer space. They need that.
You're right.
They need multiplayer.
And this is why this is so good. What incentive does Xbox, PlayStation have to get off its backside and then compete in this arena? Oh, Call of Duty, and then it's still getting it for 10 years, and it's still
come on,
scared.
Gaz. Are
And
they
it's
going to be able to
still
bring
scared.
Resistance or SOCOM back and nail that? Like, I got to play this
Why
every
not?
single night with my friends. That
not?
Call of Duty does. I mean, not many games can do
It's
that.
possible. It's possible.
absolutely.
It's definitely possible.
With Bungie's
Bro,
help,
there's-
Especially with
right?
those franchises.
Yeah.
Absolutely. PlayStation's a global name. You bring Sony can market well, unlike Xbox. Two, it's a global force. And then you could just say the next COD, SOCOM, which is an Ark Army game, something like that, and it's third person will sell more as well. Like, people there's so much scope there. Like, if you're telling me that we're going to be resigned in perpetuity for COD to be this force, I'm going to sell you some water filters and a pyramid scheme, because that's not going to happen. Yes, it has sustained remarkably long, but it's time it will come, and Sony gets the benefit of a decade to plan and devise a game like that, and it's just ridiculous. So it's like PlayStation won the fans. It's such a rallying against this failure that goes to show any fanboy that's capped for PlayStation and this against the ABK deal. I can't take them seriously. I cannot take them seriously, because that means all your posturing about first-party quality is all nonsense, because it's a third-party first-person game. COD used to make fun of COD until the timed exclusivity signed in. You're gonna back that, and then you're still gonna back it like this.
I would ask
the antithesis of what's good for competition. And I believe that sincerely. And that's why I'm just like, it's stupid.
I know, and I know the chat
Don't be a bitch and just go and deliver some quality games, Sony. Because why is it that Xbox guys believe in your ability to deliver good games? Like, why? And it's more than you? It's just nonsense. It's all games. They're just trying to buy time. They've sat on their asses, got lackadaisical, and enough is enough. The moment that happens and the ABK goes through, Sony got to take it seriously. Competition is going to heighten up, and this is why I'm vouching for Factions, because Factions, being a good multiplayer game, will force Microsoft to get its act together as well, because it cannot afford, in terms of optics, to have a Sony first-party multiplayer exclusive best its game, because that means it's
normally Xbox has the
away.
multiplayer exclusive prize
Easily.
win, but they haven't, because their last game was Halo Infinite, and Gears has been absent for a while. But I would challenge any PlayStation fanboy or anti-Xbox fanboy. I would really challenge you. Please take this to heart, all right? I would ask you to try and give me any plausible reason why Activision and Blizzard shouldn't merge with Xbox without telling me you're afraid for PlayStation's ability to compete. Because there is no reason you could give me, because for 10 years, in a whole entire decade, Call of Duty, Overwatch, and Diablo will be a multiplat. And in 10 years, is there going to be another Diablo or another Overwatch? No. So basically, this Activision game merger gives games to everybody, even to Nintendo. And so I think I just can't take anybody seriously when they stand up against this merger and acquisition, especially when Activision themselves came to Microsoft and said, "Will you please buy us?"
I mean, I don't care if they came back, but Activision desperately need this deal way more than Xbox.
Their employees, their studios, the health of these franchises.
I disagree with that a bit, Gaz. I think Xbox needs this deal as well for Game Pass' sake. I think Game Pass needs all the big games they can get.
No, but comparatively, really I think ABK needs the deal
comparatively,
more than...
when you're saying that they need it more, yes. But I do think that Xbox desperately needs more for Game Pass' sake.
Well, Fonz, even with this...
It's funny to me.
To break the masses, absolutely. To break the masses because it faltered at the wrong time with the Xbox One generation, where everyone got invested in this digital ecosystem with PlayStation got its act together to break that. Yeah. And we're seeing that is going to need a massive shock.
Just 2 games alone, COD and Diablo.
Will this Activision Blizzard merger, huge for them. Will it put Xbox on top and smash PlayStation, Fonz?
Smash, no. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people out there, what you were talking about earlier, I wanted to comment on that, Colt, about how the fanboys and stuff love to just deny this deal and say it's not good, it's not good. But the only thing I ever hear them say is it's not good for gaming. But if you ask them why, they're just like, well, Microsoft needs to just, they need to compete on their own. They need to make their own games with their own studios. And it's like,
all while PlayStation buys every game from everyone else.
At one time, money hat.
But it's not just that. At one time, every studio owned by PlayStation was bought. Like, it's not something that they just
half their studios
organically grew those studios. No, not every studio was organically grown from within. Those studios were bought, just like the ABK. It's no different, man.
That's how business works.
Like games and stuff that were exclusive beforehand or whatever. But that's the nature of this business. That's how the gaming industry works. Sometimes.
Your favorite sports team is made up of acquired talent.
That's like saying, I mean, we could point to Bethesda and say that was organic growth because they worked with them for many years before that.
Even the most organic studio is made up of. Even the most organic studio, Fonz, is made up of employees that were hired or bought in.
I've heard nobody on the Xbox side really make those kind of claims about Bethesda, and they could, but they don't because it's stupid at the end of the day.
Yeah.
This is all business.
Especially when Sony bought Bungie, the studio that made the Xbox what it is today in Halo. It's like, come on, man. Like, organic growth. That's it. That's the most before Bungie was acquired by Sony, if someone said, what would be the most inorganic acquisition Sony could say? Bungie.
Yep.
Because they made Halo that made Xbox, and they did it. So shut up about the organic, not you, Fonz, but I'm saying shut up people about this full concern about organic growth. That's nonsense. Jim Ryan said Ryan says this before, weeks before this happens. Like, what are you doing?
One thing I have heard by some concerns anyway, by some fanboys out there, is that if Microsoft were to acquire ABK and they get these big games like COD and Diablo, they might make those games worse. They might make those games worse because they own them now and they can't manage their own studios.
What?
Bro,
already proved that was wrong.
Where are the staff going to go? There's going to be a mass exodus of this 10,000 staff members going to go somewhere else. They're still going to be there. The developers are still going to be there. But the only thing that changes is they don't have, as an independent, this pressure to keep churning COD yearly. Vanguard was great, right?
Yeah.
So
and they still bought it.
And you know what Microsoft did? And Phil Spencer confirmed that they already, before the deal even remotely has gone through, this was literally after they announced the acquisition, in a space of like a days, if I recall correctly, Phil Spencer says, you know what, they will not subject COD to the yearly churn. That this will be possibly biannual.
That's already good news as it is.
Well, what about the argument that Game Pass might make these games lower quality?
What do you mean? They're gonna.
Can I talk on my own show? Can you guys shut up?
I lost it, you.
Fine, Gaz, take the show.
I've run out. Okay.
No, John, 907. I'm not saying that I'm worried about any of that stuff. I'm just merely bringing up some counterpoints that I hear from the other side. That's
like
all.
Frank Kent said in the I got to put my sock back on. so I can be comfortable. Hey, like Frank Kent said in the chat, he's like, it's like how bad they were during the Xbox One generation. They had no studios back then. My gosh, like, I mean, how many times do you have to have it explained? Like, you think of all the prominent games in the Xbox generation, the all 5 games they made that were exclusive, and most of them weren't even from their own studios. Rise Center Rome, Crackdown, Quantum Break, Recore. Anyway, let me move forward. I got a quote from Phil Spencer. There's 2 quotes from Phil Spencer. This one is not as tasty as the other one. He said, I'm out of breath from kicking my foot up. He says, I don't have great rationale for how better competition is in consoles is somehow hurtful for consumers. This is an important acquisition for us. It's not some linchpin to the long term. Xbox will exist if this deal doesn't go through. So what's linchpin mean?
Sorry, repeat that again?
He says, I don't have a great rationale for how better competition is in consoles somehow hurtful for consumers. He kind of says the thing that I said earlier, and I said like last week on the show, give me one reason why Activision Blizzard would be bad for competition. And no one can come up with a real, rational, non-fanboy argument other than, it'll take games away from more people. No, it doesn't. We already proved it gives games to way more people. Well, it takes games away from platforms that already exist. No, the Activision Blizzard games are being promised to stay there. And then it just goes on and on. Gaz, the last part of what Phil said got... I can't believe I'm going to say this. I try to be fair. I mean, I know nobody thinks I'm fair. The biased media chewed up this statement and used it as click-through rate like fertilizer. Xbox will exist if this deal doesn't go through. Close quote. Gaz, I want you to speak on that, and then we'll go with Fonz.
Journalists everywhere like, damn it! Yeah.
Well, so people who don't frequent Twitter, so this had a hilarious reaction from journalists. Oh, you got your fanboys on PlayStation who predictably like, oh, look, Xbox not going to die. And then it's just like, the reason why Phil is making this statement is because a lot of people are assuming that if this deal doesn't go through, Satya Nadella and his all-in on gaming, he's going to renege on it and just U-turn and boom. And then now we're going to focus on AI and everything. This is their last-ditch attempt. And Phil Spencer, this is what people do, which I don't understand. Like, use your brain. In an interview, when someone asks you a question, what are you going to do? Just sit there and go...
What did they ask him? I didn't read the... I didn't read that. A question
on what the deal with the ramifications are. He just says no. Obviously, if the deal fails, then we'll still be doing what we do. As part of the course, we'll still plug away. It means that Xbox isn't dead because this deal is so astronomical. Of course, some journalists may ask, well, what does that mean? What are the ramifications for Xbox division as a whole? And then they just said, no, it's fine. But then I don't know why I like VGC, but they
I do too.
Well, and yeah, it's just weird. I just what was it? I've
got the quote. Regardless of this is from VGC, and I met Andy Robinson at E3 2022 just this past June, and he's a really super nice guy, but he's hearing things and standing with conviction based on sources that he trusts. And we've all done that. Like, we've all heard something that we trust from someone and you stand by it. And he says, quote, regardless of Spencer's words, and this is in reference to the if Xbox will still exist, right? He says, regardless of Spencer's words, I know a lot of industry pundits think Microsoft selling off Xbox is a genuine possibility. Should this be blocked? And then he says, I still expect it to go through with concessions. That's a quote from in brackets.
Because regardless of Spencer's words, I know a lot of industry pundits thinking Microsoft will sell off Xbox as a genuine possibility. Should this be blocked? It's a bit of an irresponsible statement, but if he has those content, Tim Dog went a bit overboard with his scathing.
I think he got blocked. I think he got blocked.
He got blocked.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just like, what the... Tim Dog did go overboard. But generally... it was open to ridicule, to the point where Tom Warren replied, "Not sure who these industry pundits are, but they're clearly clueless. You don't strategically acquire Mojang and Bethesda and form Microsoft gaming division if you're going to sell off the Xbox business.
Yeah, exactly.
If your giant $69 billion deal doesn't go through." And then Rand replies with, "Here's a picture of one of your industry pundits," and he's got a picture of Jim Ryan there. Rand.
Yeah, I mean, put it in perspective,
Dark
like
Rand.
how much money has Xbox and Microsoft invested into the gaming division over the past 4 or 5 years, Fonz? I don't know if you would have any idea how much money it is, but when you're looking at spending $4 billion as a
lot.
penalty fee for losing the deal, is that a make or break for the Xbox division?
Are you really kidding right now? Are you serious? Because
I mean, that's how people are looking at it, right? They think that this $4 billion penalty fee is the end of, I don't know how much, how many billions.
$1 trillion company is really worried about that. I don't think they're worried about that. I think that what they're concerned with right now is just making this go through any way possible. And it's going to go through. I think it's just all just fluff, talking about what if it doesn't happen, because it's going to happen. There's definitely going to be concessions, but it's going to go through.
I have one more thing to say. Why in Lord Farquaad is Xbox not allowed to buy 6 studios from Activision, Blizzard, and King? Why are they not allowed to buy 6 studios, but yet these media journalists and pundits are totally okay with anybody stepping in and buying 23 Xbox studios? That's not a problem. Hey, they should just sell the Xbox division, sell 23 studios, 30,000 employees, or whatever it is. Why is that okay?
And I'm just going to say this one time. It's because it's going to hurt Sony.
Seriously, Fonz?
Yes.
All right, let me read a couple supers before they get away from me.
Sony is very much so. I'm not saying it's complete media bias, no, but they are media darlings.
They really are. I hate to side on that.
PlayStation.
Tech Money with the $5 super chat says PlayStation first-party games are loss leaders. They depend on people buying third-party games on PlayStation to make money. Check their financial reports. This goes along with Hargey saying, PlayStation admits their sales numbers on console aren't enough. And then he's got a very snide emoji there. Hargey also says, thank you, Hargey, as well, guess there will be a $10 upgrade tax for the next-gen version of Outer Worlds. Granted, it isn't published by Xbox, brackets from Colteastwood, it's published by Private Division. He says, but kind of sucks. Yeah, so we have to pay $10 if you want to play the upgraded, overhauled Outer Worlds. It's not on Game Pass, but
thank all the other companies that started doing this first.
That's kind of dumb, though, Fonz, because
it's so dumb. But
they struck the deal with Private Division back in 2019 to be in Game Pass, right? Yeah, Outer Worlds launched in Game Pass. Like, why wouldn't they keep the status quo?
I don't know. That I really don't get it. Obviously, they want to make some money off of this, so this is a way to do it. But yeah, I don't know why they're doing it just for this. I don't get it.
Yeah,
but
I've got a massive. Well, that sentence could have ended very differently.
But how the DLCs and stuff were never free in Game Pass either.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, but if you own the whole thing,
and technically this is an upgrade after the fact. Well, we've seen upgrades within Game Pass.
I bought the DLC for Outer Worlds, and if I want the full meal deal, I have to pay the $10 upgrade fee. I probably won't, but I've got a huge $69 super chat from Yodani Kizada. A huge 69. Pink long super chat, and he says, I want Gaz to sing Friday by Rebecca Black on autotune. Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Do you know the song, Gaz? It's a request.
Things are getting weird.
I'm not doing that, Yodani. You must be on crack if you think I'm going to sing Rebecca's Black Friday. You want me to go like that?
Sing it.
I'll go out like that.
It was 69. You got to sing it.
Can I sing another song?
No.
I'm not singing.
No.
Wow. Okay. Well, you know what? This is your last time on my show. How about that?
You at the end, you Donnie. I'll sing a song just for you.
Kick him off the show after
at the end of the
that's
show.
It, bro.
You Donnie, I'll sing a song for you because you get 69. I like that number. I'll sing it won't be Rebecca Black's Friday because I'll get a peptic ulcer, but at the end I will sing a song for all of you thanks to you Donnie's very generous super chat.
What's wrong with Rebecca Black? I like that song.
Thanks a lot, Gaz.
Friday.
It's amazing.
I hate that song.
I just spilled my water.
My water broke as well.
When you
your water broke.
Gaz, do you have a PayPal?
Months.
Well, one of the in the audience wants to know if you have a PayPal, so they can send you something. No,
I don't have to do that.
He wants to send you a nickel.
a nickel. Assassin talked to Assassin last night. He says hello to everyone. Wanted to stop by and say goodbye to our favorite sauce master Gaz and welcome Mag as a new co-host. Cole Eastwood, good wishes to all. Thank you, Assassin.
Yeah, it sucks that Mag couldn't be here today for the send-off and the bring-in, you know?
Yep,
Sucks.
Yeah.
Also,
I said, you're not coming back, Mag. No.
Hargit Johnny says, meanwhile, Nintendo sells tons of copies of their games without needing the money from Call of Duty. And then he puts a smiley face.
Shit. Well,
They're like,
do you know Elden Ring sold 20 million copies? Last week.
Almost as many people that played.
Hoggy would say that's pathetic. I've got 3 platforms. Hoggy, Johnny, you can't.
Eternal Shadai, thank you so much for the $10. Says, I'll give you an answer that a friend gave me about the merger. Microsoft is not only buying a studio or buying studios, they are buying a stable empire. Sony buys indie studios to make them feel better. Look at Naughty Dog.
Hold up. Stable empire? Did he really just use stable with Activision Blizzard? Oh, jeez.
And Microsoft and stable. Listen, people,
when stable. I've heard it all.
When the deal goes through, we are going to be on Microsoft's back about reviving all those IPs and all the crap that you said, making sure the quality mark stays the same as well. And making sure you get rid of Bobby and change the conditions for the staff. There's a lot there. These studios are murked. There's a state of turmoil. I don't even know how Microsoft's going to handle that.
Stable. He can't get over that.
He
bro.
said horse
Bobby
things.
Kotick.
Oh my gosh, this horse is so hot here.
So hot.
Don't be mean to whoever super chat there,
so
but yeah.
Hot.
What are you doing with your hand there?
So hot. He always hit his hand on the table when he was talking. It's so hot. I don't know why. That's what he does. That's Bo. Shout out to Bo. Shout out to Bo.
Shout out to Bo. Weird.
Shout out to Bo the man. Let's shift gears. I mean, I don't know if there's much more to say about Xbox
stable empire. I can't get over it.
Oh man.
Blizzard. With all the controversies, the past 3-4 years that have been going on with that company, and he's going to come in here and try to tell us that they're a stable empire.
Microsoft, that's too grandiose, whoever said that in chat, because ultimately Microsoft has a lot of burden to do.
It was Eternal Shadai. You better put some respect.
Eternal Shadai. I don't want to make it seem like we're making fun of you.
They've been in worse shape than 343, okay? They're way worse shape.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question from Dub, and I want you guys to think about your answer. If you're seeing it in the Super, I'll go with Fonz first. If the ABK deal goes through, which IP from Activision, Blizzard, and King do you want to see come back? Fonz, go first.
Activision, Blizzard, come back. Bro, you know what I'd like to see come back, honestly? Bad Company. I would like Bad Company.
Well, that's EA, but I think.
Oh, no. Yeah. It was EA. Yeah, that's right. Why was I thinking Call of Duty?
Okay, try again, Fonz. This isn't 5 questions.
Oh, man.
Five questions. I know what Gaz. I think Gaz and I are on the same
wavelength.
Damn you, Colt. What would you like to see come back? Because I can't think of anything right now.
Gaz, what do you want to come back from Activision?
Diablo.
Blizzard, Diablo. Well, Diablo's coming back. Gaz, what do you want?
Diablo's here. Yep.
Say it, Gaz.
I would like to, you know which one I want to say.
Somebody said Guitar Hero.
No, Prototype.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really? Prototype?
Prototype
I
was
think
fun.
they could do it. I think there was a lot of potential there. I mean, the Prototype 2, which I completed last year, overpowered. But Microsoft needs like a third party, like superhero or super villain game. I think it'd be nice. There's loads. I worked on a video, and there's so many dormant IPs with those guys.
Are you working on a video that no one will watch? I love doing that.
Always.
Oh, here we go.
Perpetually doing that. But there's loads, man. But Prototype is just like a little bit unlikely, but yeah. New stuff. Okay, I'll make some stuff.
We know Zocker's in the chat. He wants Warcraft
new IP.
RTS.
I want new IP.
Yeah.
RTS. No.
Yep.
No thanks.
No one on console cares about that. You PC piece of no. World of Warcraft coming to console could actually happen with the ABK going through. I think this would be a big money.
Don't do it, folks. If it does come to console, don't play it. Don't play it. It's crack. Don't.
It is
You
crack.
got a big old radial menu for your controller.
I hit left bumper real quick and go
No,
to
it
use the
doesn't
thing.
work.
Yeah, how are they going to use a
Shut up.
controller with that? I mean,
They
tried
do
it?
it. They do it. It's just
Have
not,
you
it's just not
tried it?
ideal.
The new COD is like so simplified. They could do it. They
Hello?
could do it. And I've tried a controller
What's up,
with
Phil?
the radial menus.
Oh, Phil's on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh
What's up?
shit! What's up, guys?
Phil, I got to
Right.
ask you real quick. Where are the games, bro? Where are the games? Ah, he hung up.
He's playing Vampire Survivors again.
Phil's in his work office. You know, he hasn't shaved in 8 days, and he's playing Vampire Survivor. So tomorrow, guys, we're supposed to get or possibly Wednesday, the day after tomorrow, we're supposed to get that developer direct, just
Starcraft.
all about Starfield. Do it, Fonz.
We're supposed to get it. We're supposed to get it when?
Vigilante.
We're supposed to either get it tomorrow or the next day, depending on what day of the week. If they're going to do a Wednesday event or Tuesday event, they'll probably do it 2 weeks ahead of time. So tomorrow or the next day, it could quite possibly be the announcement for Developer
the
Direct
announcement.
for
Yep.
Starfield.
Starfield. Yeah. Yep.
Too late.
That's it. Starfield. Good night.
Do you have like the music and everything? Is that all gone, long gone?
Yeah, what are the marches looking like?
have the music. Starfield. A game that'll be announced. Well, the game won't be announced, but the showcase will be. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. But 2 weeks from them, they will showcase this game. It will be amazing. It'll be incredible.
Yeah.
And all of you will be jealous on the PlayStation side. Because the only way you'll be able to enjoy Starfield is to watch it on Twitch or YouTube. Or buy an Xbox or a PC. Whichever you prefer. Starfield! All right, enough.
68 Metacritic.
68 Metacritic. Yeah. 68. What was the last time? 70? What did you say? 78?
I don't remember.
Said something
78
funny.
Metacritic.
It was the best, man.
It was the best. We got Detective Siege D-Crew, who's a great up-and-coming YouTuber that's doing game reviews and gets to play everything before we do. He says, Gaz, this is a $50 super chat. Long, pink, and full of great things. He says, Gaz, hate to see you go, but love to watch you walk away. Thanks for the comedy, my guy.
Thank you.
Oh,
DC.
I forgot to do this one. I forgot to do this one for you.
Fonz is full of surprises.
Starfield. Enjoy it in September. All right. That's it.
September, yeah.
Our good friend
these-
Erica's for the win.
Hey, I
Gaz?
hope it's in June. I hope.
Hi, Erica.
Haircuts. What's up?
She says, crazy that this is my last time watching X and C. What? Oh my gosh. That was so
Oh, shit.
She says, just kidding, Colt. We'll miss Gaz, though. And then she has a little heart. She loves you, Gaz. Oh, man. Hey, Mondatrick.
me.
Guys is the best.
I just call him Don Matrick. Don Matrick's in the chat. He says, y'all
Whoa,
like
really?
you like a stable peripherals like PSVR 2? I got them for days. Connect, connect, connect. You know
No
what I
Kinect,
should do?
please.
I should take the Kinect and strap it on my head and do a video.
Oh my!
I'm about to play Forza with this thing.
Just put a phone over your face. Man.
Starfield in VR. God Emperor Sofa says Bobby is the GOAT. Thank you for the super. And Hargeet says nobody else will want this one, but I would like Xbox to bring back King's Quest or Gabriel Knight. Gabriel Knight, isn't she an actress?
What?
King's Quest. King's Quest was Sierra Entertainment, but yeah, Activision bought.
Oh,
them.
Activision, yeah.
Vivendi.
Man. Hargeet's
thing.
showing how classic of a gamer he is. Love it, just love it. Let's you know what? I want to talk about the Starfield, or I want to talk about the Xbox performance, but I think now would be a good time.
Performance.
I wanted to give Gaz a proper send off because he is. I don't know. I'm not sure if we're still going to be friends after he leaves the show. You know, once you leave somebody's show, it sours the relationship. You know, I'll walk by him, I'll see him like, you know, going to a grocery store, and I'll just try not to catch his stare. And,
you know, Colt, just make sure he gives you your hoodie back before he leaves.
Right.
Wow.
Just make sure.
And I want my money back. I bought a sauce hoodie and half the decals coming off. So I expect something in my PayPal account. I put together a very, 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 very short video highlighting Gaz that I want to play here on. And you won't be able to hear our mics while this plays, but it's about 2 minutes.
Nice.
And we're about to I just got to say, Gaz.
We're about to make Gaz cry.
I got to say, Gaz, I started this show in May of 2021, I think it was. And I was so nervous. And you, behind the scenes, you were giving me so much encouragement. You were saying, just do it, man. Just start your show on this day. You helped me with overlays. You and Asa helped me with getting the show technically going and everything. It means so much. And I made so many friends here on the show, including Gazimus, Maximus, Aurelius, Areolus Prime. So here is Gaz for the show.
I got a doo-doo in my butt, and I don't know what to do.
Yes, you did.
Okay, yeah, I just literally read it right now. Are you stupid? You even laughed at the chat. This is what happens when you have two people with severe ADHD. Literally just read it and you laughed.
I could just imagine.
I'm tempted now. Don't do it! The buttons are looking at me. The FX button just like, do it. Reverb.
Just do it and then try to get your point out. Big thank you to Gaz for staying up till 3 a.m. What a psychopath. I love you so much.
I'm naked.
Oh shoot! I just cut it off.
Oh man.
So let me put this on and change the audio.
I got a doo-doo in my butt, and I don't know what to do.
So I'm going to let this roll here quietly in the background while we do the show. I actually cut off the part where you, at the very end, you said, "I'm naked again." But I'm gonna share that video out probably tomorrow on social media and stuff so people can see it. But guys, yeah, love it. Just love it.
It's playing again.
Yeah, I'm just going to let it play here for a second while
Somebody's cutting onions.
Oh man. It's still got sound though.
Yeah, I've got it really quiet. Is it too loud?
I don't know. Oh, that's very sweet of you, man. How long did that take you? Oh, who's cutting onions here? Bastards. Oh man.
Well, I went through your channel and found so many epic clips, and then it became like a sauce montage. And then I went back and started adding in moments from the show. And when I look back at the show, Gaz, there's so many times where I'm trying to put on a semi-professional or some sort of form factor show, and you are just destroying every ounce of cohesive. I don't know. Just I look back, it's so funny.
Man,
it's so great, man. It's crazy.
It's been an incredible honor and a pleasure just chilling out with a friend, man. Like, it's been every show I've had so much fun. It's been great, man. And you're one of the nicest guys, man. One of my best friends. It's a regret that I need to stop doing the show, but it's just I'm so grateful for the memories, man. Like, all three of us are here are like good boys, isn't it? So it's like
we talk all the time, man.
Yep,
every day.
We do, and it's just like, and to have like X and C's like a mini family, everyone in chat. Like, I look forward to, half the time I'm not concentrating because I'm reading what they're saying.
The chat's putting F for respect, and they're right typing F for respect.
You know,
that's so cool.
Really am
I thought I would play around and put water in my eyes. I accidentally put Mountain Dew in my eyes. Don't do that. It burns.
Colt would take that. Colt would take that right now. He hasn't had Mountain Dew in ages.
So Happy Bomb is putting.
You wouldn't take that.
Happy Bomb is putting in the chat your YouTube and your Twitter link so people can follow you. And for those of you who may have missed a few times we explained that Gaz is going to be super busy at work, and what he does on the show, for those of you who haven't quite caught it, he's in the UK, and so the show starts right at 1 a.m. for him. So what he typically does, I'll speak for Gaz, is he typically will take a short nap and then do the show till 3:30, and then he doesn't wind down to bed till 4. And then if he has to go in the office, it's going to be over for his career. Let me switch back to this here, but I really appreciate you guys, and I also have to say I'm talking a lot, but bringing you on the show was a big thing for me to ask. I knew I would be destroying your life by having you stay up late, but I couldn't have asked for a better, more fun co-host to have for this past it's been great, like calling you up and say, hey, do you want to live stream? They just delayed Starfield, and you were there. I really appreciate you. So anyway.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you, man. Honestly, the pleasure and honor is mine as well, man. Like, it was great. We just had fun, just chilling. And thank you everyone in chat for the support and stuff as well. Like, it means a lot, man. Honestly, I'm still shocked, and sometimes I have to pinch myself at it. So yeah, do I have to sing a song for you, Donnie? No, honestly, are we wrapping up? Are we saying goodbye?
We're almost done. I'm putting out a video tomorrow if the Starfield announcement doesn't crack at 7 or 8 o'clock my time on the West Coast about this performance problem, and it's become a real problem for fans who wanted to, paid extra for power. I'll ask Fonz to what do you think about what's going on? You and I have played all these big multiplats, and after we bought them and played them, the analysis comes out.
Oh yes, man. I spoke about this too. I look. It's really irritating me, the fact that I bought this console. I was going to buy the consoles anyway. It didn't matter. I always do. I buy all the consoles. But the Series X is touted as being the world's most powerful console, right? So you would assume that all the multiplats would just perform better than the competition, but unfortunately, it just doesn't. In some games, not all games. There are games out there that do have higher resolutions and stuff on Xbox, and some that even perform better. But for the most part, what we're seeing lately, especially like with Hogwarts, Atomic Heart, then I'm seeing some things with Wolong, where these games are just coming out and they're not performing as well as the PlayStation 5 version. And it's really irritating me because, and here's why it irritates me, guys, is because I expect the Xbox version to be better. So I want to get the best performing version, so I buy it. And then a Digital Foundry analysis will come out a day or two later and show me that I was wrong. And
I also expect the Xbox to be able to run games stably. Oh, there's that word again. It's not just the below.
Not stable though, bro. It's okay, because you asked me this and I answered truthfully as well. Mm-hmm. Did the game Hogwarts, playing through Hogwarts, we've all seen the Digital Foundry thing. Yes, there's some hiccups here and there when you're running around the castle and stuff. You get some frame dips. Did it inhibit my gameplay? Did it stop me from having fun? No, none of that. I didn't feel any of that. Like, it barely, I would have a hiccup here and there as I'm running around, but it didn't bother me at all. But what bothers me is knowing that the competition has a better version that ran better. That I'm somebody who gets bothered by that. Okay. Now, if it's a situation like with Atomic Heart is in Game Pass. So that already, for me, Game Pass takes precedence. Getting a game through a subscription service and giving me a deal takes precedence over, okay, I could have bought it over there for $70,
and get 5 more frames or whatever.
And get 5 or a few more frames. Yeah, that's a non-issue for me. But I like to have the best performing games. So I said on my show yesterday that going forward, I might buy my games, multi-plat games on PlayStation instead, because they seem to be performing better. So it sucks, man. It really sucks to say that, because I like being in party chats with my friends and stuff on Xbox. Yeah. It's nice, and I can still do that. We've actually done that. Played PlayStation games and still been in Xbox party chats. We've done that, Colt.
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah, I did it with Ratchet and Clank because there, wasn't much there going on. But what is your thought on this, Gaz? You've been digging into this pretty heavily as well. What can you say, or what?
I haven't. I've just had my frustration on this whole point. I even messaged Jason Ronald about it, which I better not repeat. It's just bad decorum to repeat what he said. But generally, they are listening. But I was just frustrated. I'm frustrated. Console wars. Yeah, realistically, doesn't it make that much of a difference? It's only until Digital Foundry delayed their comparison we were having fun. But the moment they were about a week later after release, we're like,
I'm a week into Hogwarts, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Am I enjoying this? Let's see what Digital Foundry has to say. What do you think the problem is, Gaz? What's the disconnect?
Well,
what can you say?
I'm not allowed to say what Jason said, but I will say, well, a lot of it's common sense as well. Well, something's wrong with the tools or whatever, GDK or whatever.
No,
then there's common sense.
I'll fix that. There's nothing wrong with it. The tools. The XDKs are all on par, and they're all happy with them. Okay, so. Yeah, that's not a problem anymore.
Well, ultimately, it's just like the path of least resistance for developers because they need to get their game out. Fundamentally, they're just more concerned with getting their game out, and then they may not be devoting not enough time, because then it's like, why should they spend so much time to cater for the series? I've talked about this ad nauseum. Ultimately, my attitude is I don't care for the excuses. Just make it work. And that's on Xbox. It's not just on devs. I think it's on Xbox. Send the teams out. This is why I said to Jason, and I mean, he didn't say don't repeat it. Well, they didn't say don't repeat. Like, he didn't say anything like that.
Well, what did you say to him? At least you can say what your questions were.
Okay, let me chat, because I really, I don't want to be like piss people off, like when these guys in private have told me stuff. But the only thing so this is my message to Jason. I said, Jason, you'll probably roll your eyes at this, but it's infuriating and disappointing watching Series X struggle to keep up with the PlayStation 5, let alone decisively beat it. Do you guys not have a team devoted to working with third parties to ensure that the best use is made of the tools and power of this console? And it's just like, we vouched for the power of this thing. And then he replied. And the reply was like, okay, it was pretty much like, no, we do.
His reply is very fair, which you can't talk about.
But I think it just comes down to this. I really do. I think PlayStation's the lead platform that they do, develop these games on first. Then it gets ported off to the other consoles, or they work on the other consoles, or platforms, I should say, because the PC as well. That's why you see sometimes that the PC ports are in disarray as well. Some PC ports of Hogwarts don't run as well as the PlayStation 5 version or whatever. You see games sometimes that come out that don't run, they're not very optimized yet on PC as well. And these are, thousands of dollars worth of rig. I really do think it's the lead platform is well polished and pushed out first in a better state. That's the way it seems anyway.
I can tell you
and then they
a
kind
couple
of patch things with the other platforms.
I can tell you a couple of quotes. Like. I put out, it's near 15-minute video that I'm probably going to have out tomorrow. Like I said, if Starfield doesn't get announced for that developer direct, it's a very in-depth video about what is actually going on with the consoles and why Xbox and even PC, like Fawn said, are having problems they shouldn't have. One of the things is DX12. And for those aren't like really into the tech as much as I am or don't care, it could be kind of a pain to understand why something like DirectX could be a problem. But what Digital Foundry was saying today in their interview, I used a portion of it in their podcast. They were saying they are perplexed. I think it was the word they used. They used a word like perplexed or bamboozled or something funny like that. They're like, why in the world? And they've been saying this for like 2 years. There's no reason the Xbox Series X should be dropping frames or not having an advantage over the competition. And they just basically, their stance right now is, we haven't talked to all the developers, but something's not right. And Alex Battaglia said this, I'll get his quote as I scroll and look for it.
Is that the quote I sent the chat?
It might be, where he said, it's very, I can't even find it on this thing, but he says it's very obvious that the time being put on, I need to go further here. The truth is in the pudding of the performance numbers. This quote is from Alex Battaglia, Digital Foundry. The truth is in the pudding of the performance numbers. If a game has wonky performance on a modern console, it was not given the proper time. The PS5 and Xbox Series X are similarly good. The amount of time given to each is obviously not equal. Close quote. So,
and that's what I'm thinking. That's what I was alluding to. That's what I think is going on.
I love Digital Foundry. Scooter says bamboozled is definitely a Richard Ledbetter word for sure. I really, really like those guys, and I have a great respect for the work they do. But
I can't remember, but I think there was a game. I believe this goes back to the 1X even. There was a game that came out, and it was performing better on the PlayStation 4 Pro.
It was Control.
And then of course, Digital Foundry does their analysis. They show you it's running like crap over here, but better here. They never go back and show you after patches and stuff with most of these games.
In that one they did.
But I think 1X did perform better later on. And this is what happens sometimes. But after you get that initial push out there from Digital Foundry showing, hey, PlayStation 5 better, Xbox worse, you've already solidified that into a lot of gamers' minds that. And
they're not going back because they've got plenty of games
back.
they want to cover. They've gone back to things like Cyberpunk, which are constantly in disarray. But Eternal Shadow says, sorry, Fonz, the word stable will be in your head the rest of the night. Hey, Colt,
yes,
you should have had your eyes small when you read the word stable. Yeah. Raiden Blade, thank you so much for the £2, says, as it's your last show, happy birthday, Gaz.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you, crazy.
Highlander says, we will miss you, Gaz. Can I get his parking space? Yeah, you have a Segway, don't you?
What's this? Oh, one of those things? That's an American thing. We don't have those here.
Nobody has those anymore. Kyle Coe, thank you for the super, says, super chat for shirtless Gaz. Just kidding. We'll miss you. And just go ahead, just take your shirt off real quick. Just
Nah.
Show some nipple.
I only do it for Erica's for the win. No one else.
Udana Gizada says, everyone get your lighters out. It's time for Gaz's song. And welcome Justin Duell to the early access channel membership. Get your lighters out. It's time for Gaz to sing his song of choice. Go.
I don't have a lighter, but yeah.
You don't have a phone?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, that's right here.
It's
No.
over.
Not this song.
It's been 8 months and 15 days since I got on ecstasy. I don't sleep at night and I eat all day.
You're fat.
This Xbox took my games away. Since I'll be gone, I can do whatever I want.
Whatever you want.
I can see whoever I choose. I can eat my dinner at a fancy restaurant, but nothing, I said nothing can take away these blues.
Kazade O'Connor.
Nothing compares to you. Goodbye, everyone. I'll be naked forever. I know.
So he said, my dog is howling.
I love you, everyone.
Oh my gosh. So yes, Gaz will still be around. He'll still be doing sauce. He'll still be doing report videos, and he'll be on Go Live on GameOnDaily.com and YouTube. That was Frank Kent says throwing panties on stage. Gaz, that was fantastic.
Oh man.
I remember when that
trying
song
to be
came out,
loud.
Fonz, when you and I were we were in high school. And I'm like, gosh, I hate that song. If that song would come on in a grocery store, I would bolt and go outside so I wouldn't have to listen to it.
Here's the thing.
What?
I like that song. That's a Prince song. I like
It's a Prince song. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to know another great
that.
Prince song? Manic Monday by the Bangles. There you go. There's your music trivia. Guys, thank you
wrote
so
that.
much for being here, Gaz. Just snorted.
It was a great rendition, though. I like Gaz's version over Sinead O'Connor any day.
I like how you
Amazing.
said I eat all day.
Yeah.
Hey, Gazine, you're fat.
I like the part where you said Xbox took your games away. That was beautiful.
They're good.
Beautiful.
Oh, gosh. Oh, see. Diz Guy, thank you so much for the super. He says, we will miss you, Gaz. Please make guest appearances when possible. You've been great. Brought the sauce, and happy birthday, Gaz. You'll never live it down. Fonz, thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
What's going on with Games Talk Live? Tell everybody about your show.
Games Talk Live every Sunday. I do this show. The time may change again because my poor UK brothers out there and sisters are not able to watch the show live, and they want to be there live. So I've been getting some messages about that. I don't know. I'm trying to find a good in between for everybody because I've got Australian listeners, I've got UK listeners. It's weird. Sometimes it's like I have more Australian and UK people in my chat than American.
I lost the Australian guys when I told them that Starfield wasn't coming out in March. So
I didn't lose them yet.
Just kidding.
Guys, it's not coming out in March.
Yeah.
It's just not. Anyways, yeah, they're not going to have the direct in March and showcase the game and then say it's dropping today, people. It's not happening. Okay, this is not going to be a hi-fi rush situation. They're going to market this game. No, but I do the Games Talk Live every Sunday. You can catch me there on Fonz Gaming and Fonz Gaming on Twitter. And next week, I'll tell you my guest. It's going to be Plume Network.
Sure.
Plume Network will be my guest. Plume
Nice.
Network. Yeah, so he'll be on the guest this Sunday.
Hey,
so.
I missed the
super Cognito. If you missed it, go watch Lord Cognito.
It was a great show, Cognito.
It was a fantastic episode.
I miss RRD's super. He says, please protect my small business named Sony.
Exactly.
Oh, my gosh. That was...
Why are they protecting them? Why?
Yeah. Oh, and Jonas the Dad said he wanted to give $2 for you to sing Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus.
Oh, but, that would have been beautiful.
That would have been... But did you plan the Sinead O'Connor thing?
I just did it just for the show, yeah.
You are hey, we got Kelvin who says he's an Aussie. So yeah, well no, we were playing shit. Gaz, what's next for you? Just tell people why you're leaving the show and what you're doing next.
Yeah, so thank you again. Thank you. It's sad moment. I'm gonna cry when this ends. But I'm leaving because I just got a new job and I just got to work in the office Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, so I have to do it. It's a lot of responsibility and stuff, life, serious things. But you can still catch me on Game On Daily on Go Live on Saturdays. So just Game On Daily, one word is the YouTube channel. We had Colt on and Blaze on Saturday. It was a fun show. It was fiery, pretty raw. We have The Source, if you don't know what that is. We just make fun of console wars, and yeah, like just check that out. Follow me on Twitter, Gaz on Daily, and just forget the Celsty stuff. Thank you. I'm sorry if your ears are still bleeding, but yeah, thank you. Honestly, thank you so much, everyone. It's really lovely to read the messages. I was taken aback.
Awesome.
And yeah, if it's like any advice to Colt, just like keep holding Xbox's feet to the fire, man. Like I feel like I had this like need like to say, because like for me it's a big thing to be in your show and say if there's any chance of Microsoft listening, let me be the unrelenting idiot that people will not like saying the things, but I wanted to say. So there's a hope that Xbox listens, hope that Phil like to say that we are frustrated. It may not make him that many friends, but say it. So hope, please, you and Mag just hold their feet to the fire, because that's the way Xbox listens. And I'm an Xbox fan. I just want the best for that brand because I believe in it. So yeah, thank you, chat. Sorry if I'd ever annoyed you. I'm not sorry, but just thank you for bearing with the madness and just your support. And Fonz, you're like a brother, man. So yeah, I'm so glad we get to
likewise,
talk
bro.
every day.
Habibi, man.
Habibi.
Habibi,
and
indeed.
Paul, thank you for that montage, man. That was epic. I'm going to watch it again. But you should put that on Twitter as well.
Yeah, I'll put up on Twitter tonight or tomorrow. Uncle Chowder, who's been a channel for 5 months, is going to miss you guys. But I'll always be listening on Game On Daily for Go Live. So that's awesome. So for those of you who haven't caught up on, because I don't post it everywhere, but Mag, Middle-Aged Game Guy, is going to be my new co-host. He's been on the show a few times, and it's been pretty good having him on. So he's going to be the new co-host, and we'll continue to get guests as much as I can on the show. But he won't be here next week because I won't be here next week. No X&C on Monday the 6th or something like that, because I am going to LA. And I'm going to be in LA for a couple days, and I haven't been there in 6 months. And this is the first time that I've been paid and covered for travel. Like I'm being sent there, and it's really, really cool. So hopefully I'll be able. By I don't know, the mob. But it'll be great. It'll be great. I can't wait to talk about it. I can't talk about it, but I'm super excited. I'm super nervous. I'm going by myself. It's just me and my suitcase. I'm really excited. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the show. Hit the like button on the way out. We're going to get out of here. Red Wolf just gifted 1 channel membership to the Colteastwood channel.
Awesome.
And whoever it goes to, you can get my latest video that's been up on the channel for channel members. It's been up there like 3 hours. But yeah, I'm super excited. I'm very grateful. Thank you to everybody for being here. Fonz, you're such a great friend. Gaz, thank you for all you've done. Fonz has been on here like 9 times too. So thank you guys.
No, three.
I'll make it again.
We're gonna hit the button so Gaz can go to bed. All right, yeah, there you go. Bye guys. Thank you so much for your support. We're out of here.